Dustin Johnson was TaylorMade's marquee endorser for 18 years, 2 major championships, 24 tour wins. When his contract expired at the end of 2024, TaylorMade stopped writing him checks. At his first tournament as a free agent, he still put a TaylorMade driver in his bag. That one fact is what every equipment review in professional golf misses. Whether you have ever been given the same information he had when he made that choice is a different question. You have not. And this is what we are here to fix. This investigation covers 3 things: the financial structure behind the equipment recommendation, specifically how much money changes hands before a tour pro tells you a club is the best he has ever hit, the ownership architecture behind the brands you compare every time you walk into a golf store, and the specific clubs the players with no contracts, no logos, and no financial obligation are actually choosing in 2026. A top 10 player on the PGA Tour earns over $3 million per year from the hat deal alone. Not the equipment, the hat. That logo on the front of the cap, which in most full bag contracts includes the clubs, the bag, and whatever other branded inventory the company attaches to the agreement. For the most marketable players on tour, that single partnership approaches 8 figures annually. Justin Thomas earns approximately $20 million per year across his sponsors. Scottie Scheffler, approximately $40 million. Rory McIlroy, approximately $30 million, with TaylorMade as a primary equipment partner. These are the players whose clubs appear on every weekend broadcast, in every pro shop display case, in every comparison article published in golf media. When a sponsored tour pro tells you a driver is the best he has ever hit, he is not lying. It is the best driver available within the brands his contract allows him to test. That is a different thing than the best driver available. The contract determines which manufacturers he evaluates. The payment determines how he talks about what he finds. Ryan Palmer chose free agency over a full bag deal and explained the contract mechanic directly. His words: "With TaylorMade, you are having to sign the full staff, the ball. Titleist, full clubs, the ball. Guys are not wanting to sign away every club in their bag." His separate position on why he refused any deal: "With the amount of money we play for on the PGA Tour, why would I risk using something I don't 100% feel confident in? Most players take the check. Palmer wanted the clubs." Before we get to what the free agents chose, there is a detail about who owns the 2 brands you have probably spent the most time comparing, and it changes what the word choice means in that context entirely. Titleist, the brand with more major championship wins than any other in professional golf. The name associated with precision, tour credibility, and serious golfers. Its parent company, Acushnet Holdings, was acquired by Fila Korea Limited in 2011 for $1.225 billion. As of December 31st, 2024, Seoul-based Magnus Holdings owns a 51.3% controlling stake in Acushnet. The company's chairman operates out of Seoul. Korea is Acushnet's 3rd largest market globally, generating $291 million in annual revenue, behind only the United States and Europe, and ahead of Japan. TaylorMade, the brand associated with distance technology, annual product releases, and the promise that this year's engineering improves on last year's. Acquired in 2021 by Centroid Investment Partners, a Seoul, Korea-based private equity firm, for approximately $1.6 billion, the largest single transaction in golf equipment history. Centroid's CEO described the acquisition as an investment opportunity in the Korean and wider Asian golf market. The two brands you are comparing when you hold a TaylorMade driver next to a Titleist 1, 2. American names built on PGA Tour marketing and Tour win announcements both have controlling Korean shareholders. The choice you make at the golf store is a real choice. The two companies presenting it to you are not the two companies you have been told they are. TaylorMade released a new driver in 2022, the Stealth, and 2023, the Stealth 2, and 2024, the Key 10, and 2025, the Key 35, and 2026, the Key 4D. The retail price in 2020 was $499.99. In 2021, $529.99. In 2022, $579.99. In 2023, $599.99. In 2025, $629.99. In 2026, $649.99. Every year, a new name. Every year, the same slot in your bag. In May 2026, TaylorMade announced they would not release a new driver in 2027. The first year since 2001, the company has not brought a new driver to market. Their Vice President of Product Creation, Brian Basil, gave the reason on record. That annual cadence of a new driver was made for a different era, when performance gains were much larger, and the rampant innovation to get those performance gains was happening at a high clip. That is TaylorMade's own leadership stating in print that the annual release schedule was a marketing cadence, not an engineering requirement. The vice president did not say they ran out of ideas. He said the reasons the cycle existed no longer apply. Ping has operated on a 2-year release cycle for as long as most golfers can remember. Titleist, the same. Both made the identical engineering argument for decades. Meaningful driver improvement does not happen on a 12-month calendar. The most used driver on tour in 2025 is 3 years old. That fact belongs in every driver purchase conversation happening right now. In June 2024, Golf WRX conducted what is the most useful equipment study in professional golf. They identified the 14 players inside the top 100 of the official World Golf Rankings who held no equipment contract of any kind, no driver deal, no iron deal, no putter deal, no logo obligation. Players free to put any 14 clubs from any manufacturer in their bag with nothing on the other end. For irons, every free agent chose a player's club, blade or muscleback. The specific models in the census: Miura KM700, Callaway Apex TCB, Ping Blueprint S Forged, TaylorMade P7TW, Titleist 620 Nolly CB, Titleist T100. 0 game improvement irons, 0 of the forgiving cavity backs marketed to regular golfers as the performance first option. The players with the most skill and the most freedom chose the hardest clubs to hit because those clubs give them the most control over ball flight. For drivers, the most used model on the PGA Tour as of mid-2025 was the Ping G430 LST, not the current model. A driver that first appeared on tour in October 2022 was officially replaced by the G440 LST in late 2024 and was still in play by 16 tour pros over every current release from every other brand. Equipment free agent Jason Day described it simply: "I just like the way it looks and sits on the ground." He had zero financial reason to choose it. The supply chain behind the iron brands is where this investigation reaches something most golfers have never been told. Because the company doing the forging inside some of the most trusted brand name irons in professional golf has never once written a tour player a check, and you have probably never been asked to compare it. Dustin Johnson. His 18-year TaylorMade contract expired at the end of 2024. TaylorMade's spokesperson confirmed the decision was mutual. Johnson stopped wearing the TaylorMade logo on his hat for the first time in his professional career. At his first tournament as a free agent, LIV Golf Riyadh in early 2025, he carried the TaylorMade QE35 driver, the Key 10 and Stealth Fairway woods, the P730 Proto irons, and MG4 wedges, a complete TaylorMade setup. Zero payment from TaylorMade. The check stopped. The equipment did not move. Patrick Cantlay left his full club deal with Titleist at the start of the 2023 season, citing a desire to test better options across the entire market. His words on the Drop Zone podcast: "I'm not going to change my game to fit the equipment. With the current situation I'm in right now, it gives me that freedom." As of 2026, Patrick Cantlay plays a full bag of Titleist clubs without a Titleist contract. He exercised the freedom to leave and chose to stay. The contract was the constraint. The product was not. Adam Scott has been a free agent since his Titleist deal ended in 2022. His bag at the Dubai Desert Classic included TaylorMade woods, ping irons, a Shrixon 3-iron, Titleist Vokey wedges, and a LAB golf putter. 5 manufacturers in 14 clubs. 6 if you count his Titleist ball, the only equipment deal he holds. Scott's description of the process: testing his way into the best available version of every position in the bag rather than the best available option from one company requiring a full commitment. There is a company called Miura, family-owned, founded in 1957 in Himeji, Japan by Katsuhiro Miura. The company forges iron heads. It has done this for nearly 70 years without a single television advertisement in the American market. Miura's stated policy on tour players: they do not pay professionals to play their clubs. Players who carry Miura-branded irons carry them by choice. What Miura's own representatives have confirmed publicly: they forge clubs for other companies under contract. When players negotiate equipment deals, some specify Miura craftsmanship by name, meaning the club arrives in a branded package from a major manufacturer, with the forging done in Himeji. Golf Channel has reported that Tiger Woods' Titleist irons were forged by Miura during his Titleist years. The specifics of how many products carry Miura forgings under other brand names are not disclosed by any of the companies involved. What is disclosed is the practice, confirmed by Miura's own representatives, and it changes the question every golfer should ask when evaluating iron quality. The relevant question is not what logo is on the hosel. It is who made the forging. Miura irons are not sold at retail golf chains, available through selected dealers and directly from the company. No annual model releases. No tour staff on payroll. The Miura KM700 appeared in the Golf WRX free agent census among the most chosen iron models among top 100 players with no financial obligation to any brand. They chose it. Number 1, the Ping G430 LST driver. The most used driver on the PGA Tour as of mid-2025. First appeared on tour in October 2022. Officially replaced by the G440 LST in late 2024. 16 tour players, including equipment free agents with zero financial obligation to Ping, were still gaming it over every current year release from every other manufacturer. Ping's 2-year release cycle has been consistent for decades, Their engineering argument has been the same the entire time. Meaningful performance improvement does not happen on a 12-month calendar. The tour data, when filtered for players without contracts, agrees. The practical number, the G430 LST has dropped to approximately half its original $599.99 launch price now that it has been superseded. The club that 16 tour professionals chose freely over the $649.99 2026 release is available for around $300. The gap between what the paid recommendation costs and what the free agent choice costs is the business model stated as a single number. Number 2, Miura irons, the KM700 specifically, not sold at retail golf chains, available through selected dealers and the company directly. The price point is higher than mass market alternatives because the price reflects the forging, the foundry quality that also appears inside major brand products under different labels. Purchased directly from Miura, you buy the forging without the brand story layered on top of it. Number 3, LAB golf putters. Founded in 2018 on technology developed by former mini tour player Bill Press, starting in 2014. LAB stands for lie angle balance. The design eliminates torque in the putting stroke by balancing the putter at its exact lie angle, so the face stays square without the player actively manipulating it. LAB Golf does not pay tour players. Every professional with a LAB putter in the bag chose it without a check. Adam Scott first noticed a LAB putter in Kelly Slater's hands at the 2019 Pebble Beach Pro-Am and asked about it before the round was over. He spent years collaborating with LAB on the Aussie 1 design. The result, he went from consistently below average in strokes, gained putting to placing steadily inside the top 30 on tour. Will Zalatoris, Lucas Glover, and J.J. Spawn, who won the 2025 United States Open, all chose LAB without payment. The company received a $200 million private equity investment recently. It reached that valuation without writing a single endorsement check. Before any equipment purchase, 3 questions. They take 5 minutes and return more useful information than anything a sales rep will volunteer. First, who is recommending this club, and what is their contract worth? A recommendation from a tour player on a full bag deal comes attached to a payment of between $3 million and $10 million annually. The recommendation is not dishonest. It is not independent. Find out what the same player uses when nobody is writing the check, and treat that as the actual data point. Second, how old is this model compared to what free agents still play? Golf WRX publishes What's in the Bag coverage for every active tournament. It is public and current. A 3-year-old Ping was beating every 2024 and 2025 release in free agent bags through mid-2025. If a 3-year-old club outperforms the current release among players who answer to no manufacturer, last year's driver did not become obsolete in January. Third, does this company pay tour players? Miura does not. LAB Golf does not. The brands that appear most consistently in unpaid professional setups are making the most effective products. That list is the only buying guide in golf with no financial structure behind it. TaylorMade and Titleist produce equipment that professional golfers use even after the check stops. That is the point, not the problem. The problem is that the recommendation to buy last year's model was worth between $3 million and $10 million to the person who made it. The recommendation to buy this year's model is $150 more on the sticker. The players who answer to no one chose a 3-year-old Ping, a Japanese foundry you have never been asked to compare, and a putter from a company that has never paid a player to hold it. The next time a tour pro tells you a driver changed his game, ask one question first. What does he play when nobody is writing the check? That is the only equipment review in golf that costs you nothing and tells you everything. If you want to see how this same financial structure operates in the golf ball market, where what tour pros choose off-contract and what Titleist tells you to buy are two separate conversations, that is what the golf ball video covers.